Welcome to the next video. As I said at the end of the last video, I want to now talk about test coverage of our unit test. So the test coverage is a KPI that tells you how much of your code you have already tested with your unit test. So for example, we will see we have already tested 90% of our vector class, and hence we haven't tested 10% of the implementation yet with our unit test. So then I would see, okay, to get a code coverage of 100%, I need to add some more tests. And as we will see in a moment, we will see which parts of our vector2d class aren't tested yet, for example. So we now can run these two commands here, test coverage and test coverage HTML. The first command here would run our PyTest module that we have installed with an extension. So PyTest has many extensions, and one extension is to run the code coverage. I have also listed this extension here in the requirements dev file. As we can see here, PyTest-cov is this extension tool to compute the coverage with PyTest. Also, we have installed the tool CodeCov, and CodeCov is a website where we can nicely see some charts and graphics about our code coverage, as I will show you also in the next video. So if I run now the test coverage command, so make test coverage, I would at first execute our unit tests. And afterwards, I will call here this pytest.coverage extension that I call here. And this extension will look at our source code and will then look at our unit tests and will check if our source code is tested by our unit tests. And if not, then this tool will tell us how much of the code base is already tested. So we would see here, currently, we have tested 99% of our code base here. Okay, I have covered 99% of our code inside the vector.py file with our unit tests. And if I want to check now which part is missing, I can run here this command. So I can run make test coverage HTML. And this would generate here a reports folder. And inside the reports folder, there is an index.html file, and we can open this file by right-clicking and then clicking here open in default browser. This would here just show again this little table about the code coverage, but the nice thing about this here is we can click on the exact file that we want to check for which part is missing. So here I want to check which part is missing in the unit tests for our vector.py file. So I can click here, and then I would see the whole code of the vector.py file. The not yet tested part here is highlighted as red. So I would see I haven't already tested the dunder string method. So now I could add a test for the dunder string method, for example. So just let me add here a new function, test string, for example, self returns none. And here we could test self assert equal of, let's just take, for example, vector v1 with the value 0, 0, self.v1. And now we could call the dunder string method by .dunder string, for example, or we can just call string of self.v1. So this would call the dunder string method also under the hood. And now I have to look up what should be the correct result of this string of self.v1 call. And for that, I will go into our vector.py file and look up what I have defined here. So the output should be our x and y value separated by a comma inside a tuple parentheses. So the expected output would be opening parentheses, then 0, comma, white space 0, closing parentheses. I also could here add assert not equal, for example, to check what the output shouldn't be. So for example, there should be a white space here after the comma. So I could check here, the other way around. If I would now rerun our make test coverage command again, I should see that we have a code coverage of 100%. Let us just reload our page here. And we would see, okay, now the dunder string method here is highlighted as green. If I go back one tab and I reload the page, I would see, okay, now we would have a test coverage of 100%. And the whole code of our vector2d class is now tested in the code base. So code coverage is just a benchmark tool or a KPI to check how much unit tests you have written to test the code base of your package. And the lower the code coverage percentage value is, the less unit tests you have implemented for your code. So you should at least keep an eye on this value and should at least test all important methods. That's enough for the moment, and we will see us in the next video. Bye bye.